Okay, let me get the shine off. Volume 4, got David and Goliath on it. We're in part 2, story 3, Two Mean Tricks. That's what this is called. As weeks and months went by, Abner saw that his cause was hopeless. David was winning everywhere. Everybody wanted him to be king. So he decided to leave Ishbosheth and join David. When David heard the news, he was very pleased, for he knew that would mean an end to the war. He admired Abner as a strong leader and believed that he would be as loyal to him as he was to Saul. He made one condition of peace, that Abner find Michal, his first wife, and bring her to him. Abner agreed at once and sent Michal, I'm going to say Michal, to David. Then he got in touch with the elders of Israel and told them of his plan to unite the kingdom. Ye sought for David in times past to be king over you, he said. Now then, do it, for the Lord hath spoken of David, saying, By the hand of my servant David, I will save my people Israel out of the hands of the Philistines, and out of the hand of all their enemies. When the elders of Israel had agreed to the plan, Abner sent and told David, who invited him to dinner. So Abner came to David to Hebron, and 20 men with him. And David made Abner and the men that were with him a feast. It was a very happy time. David, big-hearted as ever, gladly overlooked all that Abner had done against him in the years gone by. Abner, on the other hand, promised to do his best to bring all Israel under David's rule. I will arise and go, he said, and will gather all Israel unto my lord the king, that they may make a league with thee, and that thou mayest reign over all thine heart dearest. Ugh, gets confusing. And David sent Abner away, and he went in peace. That would have been the beginning of something very wonderful, but alas, it wasn't. When Joab heard about what had happened while he was away, he was furious. What hast thou done? He said to David in great anger. Behold, Abner came unto thee. Why is it that thou hast sent him away, and he is quite gone? And then there's a pause. He came to deceive thee, to know thy going out and thy coming in, and to know all thou doest. To Joab, Abner was nothing more than a spy. Besides, he hated him for killing his brother Asahel. Without telling David, he sent a messenger after Abner, asking him to return to Hebron. Supposing that David wanted to see him again, Abner gladly returned, expecting another friendly visit and perhaps another feast. But on his arrival, Joab took him aside in the gate to speak with him quietly, and smote him under the fifth rib, and he died. For the blood of Asherel, his brother. So basically, Joab killed Abner. Okay, let's get back. When David heard about the murder, he was horrified. He ordered Joab to put on sackcloth and mourn for the man that he had killed. And when the funeral was held, King David himself followed the bearer. B-I-E-R, bearer, yeah. To his servants he said, Know ye not that there is a prince and a great man fallen this day in Israel? David was sad and ashamed that one of his own men should have played so mean a trick, and he refused to eat all day. And all the people took notice of it, and it pleased them. As whatsoever the king did please all, as whatsoever the king did pleased all the people. And then there's two pictures. They got the feast up at the top, and then they got the funeral of Abner. So there's the feast. Get in and pray. There you go. Get in and pray. And then there's the funeral of Abner. Okay. Shortly after this, when news of Abner's death spread all over the country, two of Saul's captains, Baanah and Rechob, B-A-A-N-A-H, Baanah, and Rechob, R-E-C-H-A-B, Rechab, thinking to win David's favor, decided to get rid of Ishbosheth, the rival king. So, one very hot day, they came to Ishbosheth's house and found him lying in bed at noon. They killed him, cut off his head, then carried his head to David, saying to him, Behold, the head of Ishbosheth, the son of Saul, thine enemy, which sought thy life. And the Lord hath avenged my lord the king this day of Saul and of his seed. They could have not been made a bigger mistake. David was even more angry with them than he was with Joab. As the Lord liveth, who hath redeemed my soul out of all adversary, he said to them, when one told me, saying, Behold, Saul is dead, thinking it had brought good tidings, I took hold of him and slew him in Ziklag. And then, of course, these verses are all mixed up. How much more when wicked men have slain a righteous person in his own house upon his bed? And David commanded his young men, and they slew them. So David let it be known that nothing mean or underhanded would be approved as long as he was king. Then, of course, it has an illustration, and it looks like it's the guys going for Ishbosheth. Ishbosheth. His name is funny. All Bible names are sometimes funny. Okay, and that was part 2, story 3. And so I'm going to break and then we'll read the next one in a minute. I think the other one looks better because it's got too much information.